Okay, so welcome everyone. Happy New Year to those I haven't said hello to already, although it seems a long time ago already. Welcome to this Civic Events Working Party, Monday the 6th of January. As usual, this is being live streamed on YouTube, and also any decisions taken have to go to either Leisure Committee or through delegated power through the clerk. Right, apologies for absence, please.
Chair, with apologies from Councillor Davison and Councillor Page.
And I guess Sarah as well, she's still on holiday, isn't she?
Sorry, yes, you're absolutely right. Sarah March as well.
Okay, lovely, thank you very much. Declarations of interest and requests for dispensations, anyone? No. Minutes of the previous meeting held on the 15th of October. Thank you, Jane, for usual typing up of those. I guess you've all read them. Can I have a proposer, please? From somebody? Councillor David Smith, seconded by... You're going to put your hand up, Councillor Lucarini? Yeah, thank you. We don't know what for yet, mind you. So all those in favour, please show. Awesome, thank you. Right, actions from those minutes. I think we're going to be discussing this anyway in the main agenda. But as far as I was concerned, they were all actioned anyway back in October and early November, unless anyone's got any problems. Right, so we're going to move on, if you wouldn't mind, to item number 7 Alpha, which is the Air Cadets Parade, because Adam has to go, not right now, but before the end of the meeting, I think, which is apparently scheduled for Sunday, the 2nd of February. I guess, Adam, it's probably over to you to explain what it is, because I think a lot of people probably don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, of course. So for those of you who don't know, ATC stands for the Air Training Corps, and we're a formation of the Royal Air Force Air Cadets. So generally, those of you who see us in remembrance will see us in the light blue uniform. We, as Haverhill, have been selected as part of a sector, which is a collection of 7 squadrons similar to ourselves in the local area to host for the 2025 ATC Sunday Parade, where we commemorate the formation of the Air Training Corps back in 1943, and it's been an annual event since that point. So we have had some early conversations, and with thanks to the support from a number of members on this meeting, we are hoping to proceed with the event on Sunday the 2nd, starting at 1 o'clock, a march similar to Remembrance through the High Street to St Mary's Church, where Reverend has kindly agreed that we can have a service at that point. And that will be a dedicated service, but people will be able to line the streets and see the parade. We will also have a marching band, probably just drum corps, but that will be supplied by the Air Cadets. So it will be a full blue uniform parade. We're expecting just over 220 cadets and associated staff members. It will be a formal military parade, so we will be marching in squadrons with parade commanders and squadron commanders. So it will look something similar to what we do for Remembrance, but probably just a bit more formal than what we see generally. Before we form out on the main market square, we won't be going up to the cemetery. It will only be to the St Mary's Church on that day. I'm open to the floor in terms of any questions or any queries from that point.
Lovely, thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. I did know a little bit of background because Gary mentioned it before Christmas. I I believe we're doing or helping you out with road, certainly organising road closures. I understand it. Is that
Can I
right?
interject at that point, John?
Go ahead.
Yeah, the High Street, we have a closure from highways 12 till 2, and we can have whatever the word would be, to disband the loading bay on the square for a period of time, and also we have permissions to do the rolling closure to allow the parade to come from the car park to the High Street.
Yeah.
We are staffed as of this time with a number of town council staff involved. I will be the event lead. We also, obviously, we have the road closures, which will go out onto the lampposts in due course, in good time. And yes, okay, thank you. I just thought I'd add those particular bits.
Okay. I'll get back to Councillor Brown in a sec, just before I forget. Are you expecting anything from me in terms of barriers or cones?
Yes, can we have a discussion this week? We will need to barriers, because we will barrier off the square as we do for remembrance, to allow the parade to go on. The parade should go on, and Adam can correct me if I'm incorrect in this. Will go on from the High Street, or will it go on from Camps Road, Adam?
No, we'll go on from the High Street.
Go on from the High Street straight onto the square. So yeah, John, we need to have a discussion about the parade. So what about the barriers for the parade? What I'd probably suggest is if we have a meeting the next week or so,
Yep.
probably middle of next week, to discuss the logistics.
Yep.
Obviously, we're at the behest of Adam's availability,
That's fine.
but it's good at some point next week to sit down and map it out. Albeit it is relatively straightforward, but it'd be good if we could just get everybody with all the relevant information. Adam, can I just check with you that you are not requiring any tech, i.e., remind me, do you need tech? Do you need dais?
If I can have a conversation about a dais, because we have now appointed a reviewing officer, and it will be our commanding officer of Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire Wing. So we will also be parading our wing banner at Haverhill. So yes, if I can have that conversation, that would be most appreciated. Whether it's the actual dais or whether it's just some staging sections just to lift it ever so slightly off ground level, that'd be most appreciated.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. Thanks for that.
Well, I'll add my bit to my diary, just so it's in my diary. Councillor Brown.
Yeah, thanks, John. All it was sorry, a little bit late. I couldn't get on for some reason, but Brian Mills asked me to give his apologies. He's had to go to Hellions Bumpstead for a bell ringing session, so he gives his apologies.
Thanks, Tony. Okay, anybody else? So Gary, Adam, if he's around next week, we can talk about my side of things, doing anything. Won't take long.
I'll send some dates later on this evening, some dates and times that I can make.
Lovely. Thanks, man. Okay, anybody else on the Air Cadets Parade at all? No.
I think
No,
Councillor Smith, David.
Yes, wondered if there was an involvement from me as a mayor. Just that I didn't know any about this. I'm actually working on that day, so I will need to, if possible, change my shifts. The problem I got is that 2 of my 3 colleagues are off on maternity. That's nothing to do with me. So it may be a bit difficult. If not, it may have to perhaps be the deputy mayor.
We would welcome attendance, absolutely, of a town representative to attend the service. There won't be a requirement for you on the parade itself, but you can absolutely, town representative can stand by alongside our reviewing officer of the Wing Commander, Bradshaw.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So can I ask on that?
Sorry, Max, yeah.
220 cadets. How many additional staff are you expecting?
So for 220, we're expecting at least 22. Not all will be at the service. So we will split out some of those individuals away from that. So the band won't be going to the service because they will need to have a period of rest. and the CIs in terms of the non-uniform members of staff won't be attending. It will just be uniformed attendance. So we'd probably reduce that down to 200 in total going into the church, because I believe that was the limit.
Yeah, 200 is probably our limit. I mean, even with that, are we able to get some additional chairs from the Arts Centre? Because we've got chairs, I suppose, including the Lady Chapel, we can stretch to 200. But if then you've got additional, if councillors want to come along or something, having some extra chairs on hand would be helpful.
I'm sure that there would be chairs for you from the Arts Centre. That wouldn't be a problem. We just have to order and organise the logistics of them arriving and being collected.
Okay, thank you.
Perhaps that's something that we can add to the conversation that we have on over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I can ask Adam very quickly, as what Max is related to. Presumably this is not open to the public, this service.
The service won't be, no.
No, that's fine.
So we absolutely encourage attendance from members of the public to line the streets.
Yeah.
Haven't got a problem with that, but the service will be a closed service to members of the Air Training Corps.
Okay. And how are we telling members of the public that this is going to happen?
So we will only be sharing it locally with our Air Cadet friends and family. I've not got a problem with it being shared in terms of local. Given the requirement of PME, I am not making any formal notification that this is going to occur on any social media sites. It will be per invite and per local notice.
That's fine. That's fine. Just so we know that. That's fine. Okay.
Are you expecting refreshments afterwards or anything like that?
If I can have a conversation with you separately on that, I think that'll be helpful.
Yeah, no problem.
I will send some dates over to yourself as well, Reverend.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. So if we move back to item 6 alpha, which is reviewing Remembrance Sunday. I think some of us have had discussions post event anyway. And we have obviously got another 11 months before the next one. I suppose one thing we've got to make sure is that we don't have any events booked at the Arts Centre, hopefully, for those dates again, because we did start running out of staff. I know Sarah said she wasn't going to do it, so hopefully if that's all right with people. Generally, I thought it went well, although obviously Aaron and myself and others are up the cemetery, and I've spoken to Adam since. Whenever I saw you. Any comments from anybody other than what we already know? And I have got some notes which I'm going to add into the plan, which was a result of Gary and Sarah and myself having a meeting after the event. But I just no point going through them all because most of them are petty things. Anybody? Councillor Brown.
Yeah, just to say, yeah, from my perspective, obviously, I didn't help the organisation other than attend these meetings, but from an outsider, really, and an attendee, I thought it all went, really well. Again, the last 2 years have, seemed to have, really gone smoothly. Other than, you're always going to get some little event, but other than that, it went very well.
Anybody else?
From my perspective, with regard
Okay, yeah.
to the actual parade and the walk down to the cemetery and back, I don't know if Adam has any particular take on that. It seemed to go okay. We had a full complement of road closure operatives from both the council and the traffic agency. Adam, did you have anything to add on that particular score?
No, I think it was it went off without any major issues. That there were some events and some not events, sorry, there were some occurrences that were that were noted at the time, and dealt with in accordance with the policies that we put in place, especially with regards to the PME and the military aspect of it. So nothing from mine. Brilliant parade commander, and long may we keep him in that role.
Yeah, it went well. And I think I did send, or I hope I sent out anyway, the link to the video I did. I'm pretty certain I did. One thing I was going to mention, the only thing that was about the timings of it, but one thing I was going to ask Joe, are you able to, I'm not just talking about remembrance, but all the events that we now know the dates of, could we put them up on the town council website, reactivate them again? Because the only one that's up there is the Christmas event still.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. No problem. I can do that tomorrow.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Right, moving on to 6 Bravo, the Christmas Civic Service.
Sorry, John, before we move on.
Go on. Sorry,
yeah,
Dan.
that's all right. I was coming at the last minute there. Just there was a little bit of confusion at the timings at the beginning, at the start of it, because it was advertised in some places it was 3 p.m. and other places our people have said, well, it wasn't a fixed time. And I know that some people did turn up late. So if we're going to say 3 o'clock, can we make sure it's 3 o'clock?
Well, what we agreed in our meetings was we would start when we get there. Unfortunately, yes, everything said 3 o'clock. Things like the bugler not turning up till last minute, and also Max's
Well, Reverend Moses
the reader from the Methodist Church.
I couldn't remember his name. Sorry,
Moses.
So what I've actually written down from our meeting with Gary and Sarah was perhaps we start at 2:30, leaving the Arts Centre car park, because the thing was, you were at the cemetery, even, with all the people there, it was still 2:45 when everyone arrived. So maybe we need to relook at that. But equally, I think the advertising, when we eventually get towards that, is please be at the cemetery by 2:45. I lost you again, David. There you are. Please be there for 2:45, because it will start as soon as the parade arrives. Yeah,
as long as it's, everybody knows. It was the uncertainty was the problem, I think.
Yeah, we had the time.
People making assumptions as well.
Well, I've got written down here, which will be in the thing, was one of the bullet points I've written down is speed of the band, because someone said, band march quite quickly.
Mine this year. I was all right this year. I could have
You
gone
were like, yeah, but you were, in your go faster strikes, weren't you? Yeah. Okay. But obviously we've got a few months to play around with. I'd like to see us, finish all the arrangements well before the November event, if we can. And maybe Gary, I've lost you, Gary, gone there you are. Maybe, do like the road closure of application a lot earlier. We know what day it is.
I think the issue with that is, with there being 4 layers of agencies, West Suffolk, Milestone, and then a traffic agency that they've contracted. When I've gone in quite early, there's just a reply back saying we will come back to you in due course. And we had the same thing this year of ascertaining who was leading on it, who was the confirming who was and they're forever saying, well, we'll come back to you. And it does get quite close. I know that we spoke afterwards, John, about this, about how close it gets to the day when we're trying to deal with the logistics of working with the traffic agency. Even though we have got the road closures, that's not a problem. The road closures are in. It's that layer of bureaucracy between us, Suffolk County Highways, then these contractors. And there's multiple layers. There's a subcontractor. As you know, it was really the subcontractors were surprised we had a request for so many staff, and it was only when the boss of the subcontractor arrived and saw the nature of how we had to shut the town down that they relented and actually gave us the full quota of staff, because they realized we were cutting off a main artery into the town and it required such logistics. It is a difficult one, that one. We can push at an early stage. it's down to them to get back to us. I think.
Well, well, it does remind me that I post that event there was a Suffolk County Council We Are Listing event on the Market Square, which I did go along to, and I did speak to Matthew Hicks and his PA, who's the leader of County Council, saying this bureaucracy is ridiculous. That Milestone, and his answer, or his PA's answer to me was, why are Milestone even getting involved in this? It's nothing to do with Milestone. So hopefully we can get one of those layers removed by the time November comes. But we'll see.
Yeah, we can have a go, and that would be nice to have it in place and have their recce well before the week and a half in advance.
Okay, so we can go back to 6 Bravo, the Civic. So I don't think there was any problems, Vicky and Max.
I think it went quite well.
And David, wherever you are, lost you again.
No, I think it went very well. It's very well attended as well.
Lovely. Anybody else?
Yeah, I was very happy with everything. It all seemed to go well.
Councillor Brown?
Yeah, it's just, again, I think it's just a real shame there's no children there. They seem to really make the event. In the early years that I used to go, there was a lot of children there, and it seemed to really make the event more special. It's just, I don't know why or how, etc. But it's just a shame. I think that the children are missing. Yeah.
We tried our very hardest.
Yeah.
They were coming, then they weren't coming, then they were coming, then they weren't coming, and then they weren't coming.
Yeah.
We try.
To put it in perspective, the interim head at Samuel Ward turned up on the night expecting his choir to be singing. So, yeah, we remain.
Okay.
Yeah, we did try.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the substantive stuff. 7 Bravo, VE80, 80th anniversary VE Day. We probably want to talk also about VJ Day as well, as although they're sort of linked in 3 months apart, maybe. But obviously it was the same war and everything. I'm going to ask Brian and Charmian first. Any thoughts? Have you had any thoughts about this? Do we want to do banners again of other, obviously not the same people, but
I don't know. There's an awful lot more, John.
yes, that's right.
There's,
I think could we do that in the high street? How many do you think we got?
Well, I've got photographs for 24 of the casualties, but we've also got quite a few of the people who came back.
Yeah.
So you're talking about quite a few photographs. I don't know whether that would be too many for banners. What I didn't know, where's Joe? Will Joe be getting involved this year with all of that? I mean, I didn't know if it would be useful for Brian and I to meet up with Joe and perhaps yourself and some other people to show you what we have got on our laptops. Because it was BE Day 75, of course, that was during the lockdown. And we did an awful lot, especially for schools and adults, that we put on Facebook. Do you remember, John?
Yeah.
And we had the Haverhill Silver Band involved. They played Blaze Away for us, and that was all socially distanced. So it may be that we could get them to do something else for us. But I think in the first instance, it would be helpful if we got together and showed you what we have, and then you know what we've got, and you can see how it would work. Really.
Can I just ask Colin? Can you remember how many banner attachments we got?
No, not
6.
offhand.
No.
6.
I'll see whilst we've got the discussion going. I'll see whether I can find the list of lamp columns in the high street. I think there's probably not as many as we might think there are.
No.
There might be enough for 24, but I wouldn't even be convinced of that, to be honest.
No.
To be fair, couldn't we have more than one on each banner? Two or three pictures. combined. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's-
I don't want to block up this meeting with, you know, designs and everything, but I think it might be quite a good idea.
There are 69 FIPOs. We've got a list of 69 men who were caught up in the Far East as prisoners of war. 12 of them from the town didn't come back. And if you include the villages surrounding Haverhill, there were 22 who didn't make it back, but still 69. So that's just the Far East prisoners of war. When you start thinking about the rest of the theatres of war, the numbers are huge. So I do think it would be useful if we share with you what we've got, and you make copious notes, and then you can be informed about decisions.
All right. Yeah, we need to do that sooner rather than later, of course, because time will rush on.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay? Because I don't know what generally. I mean, obviously the 8th of May is a Thursday. Not the best day in the world, of course, because people are around. So we did speak about last time whether we sort of moved it to Armed Forces Day and did something for Armed Forces Day, although it's a month later. But have a little thing on VE Day, but then have the major thing on Armed Forces Day. Go on, Sharon.
On the 8th, or on VE Day itself, going back to 1945, there was there were not celebrations, but there were two. Well, I think the Old Independence and St Mary's had services of Thanksgiving, really, and at both of those, the Alleluia chorus was sung. So the choirs in both places sang that particular piece of music. So I don't know if you think about having a civic service at any time, perhaps you want to think about having that piece of music sung, and maybe having the band again playing Blaze Away. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Right. Councillor Brown, then Colin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could we do something similar to what we did on the anniversary of D-Day? Have a little thing in the market square to market in the morning, and obviously we could, possibly combine something on the Armed Forces Day. But I think, last time we were, under the lockdown and everyone had to be socially distanced. And this is going to be, Brian and Charmaine will be the ones to answer this. Could we have some sort of exhibition in the studio for a week or something like that?
You
with some of the
certainly could.
artifacts, that'd be, I mean, the one, for the Haverhill History group did around the Far East prisoners of war 5 years ago. That was, in the history room, was absolutely fantastic. It'd be great if we could put that into the studio and get more people in to see that. I don't know, but just an idea.
We do have lots of posters that could be reused for both VE and for VJ Day. We also did a cemetery walk for VJ Day that was quite well attended. And certainly the family history group could do that again in August. But when we were doing all the online stuff, we had things like Bake for Victory and Dig for Victory, and there were lots of them.
It's baking a cake for VE Day.
Yeah.
I've got those here. I'm just looking at them now.
Got those.
Yeah.
Air raid shelters, wasn't it? Air raid shelters.
Air raid shelters, yes.
Dig for Victory, evacuees, was it? Rationing.
Yeah.
Tea making tips.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to try and get the few shops we got in town involved as well. But can I just say that the town council took some criticism on VE Day, the original VE Day, because
it wasn't the town council; it was the UDC.
Well, the Urban District Council, because they didn't celebrate it very well, possibly because we still had men still in the Far East. But I think if we don't do something on the 8th of May, I think we may come under criticism again.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think what Tony meant.
Yeah.
What about? I know I forget to Colin, just while I'm remembering. You're quite right, Simon, about VE Day and VJ, particularly more so VE Day than VJ Day.
Mm.
We did do, for example, we did make a video.
Yes, we did.
And I wonder whether, working with Joe, whether that's something we could do out there, so at least people who don't attend these things can actually watch it.
Mm.
Maybe that's something we could do. I know it doesn't bring people out, but being a Thursday, as you say, on Thursday morning, people aren't going to probably come out anyway.
Mm. But the video worked very well, actually.
Yeah, I've still got it here. I can't play because you'll hear it. Colin, sorry.
Thank you, Chair. I was just going to say that there's, including Queen Street, there's 31 streetlight columns. You've then got a few on the Market Square, and you've got Jubilee Place and the bus stop. So, I mean, in theory, you could include quite a few, depending how far you wanted to spread it. We don't have licenses for all of those lamp columns, but I think 31 we're okay with.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you've got 31, and as Tony suggested, double them up. That's 62, so you're not far off in terms of the, half, have this normal size banner, but half the picture.
Well, that's the thing, Chair. We will have to bear in mind that for technical reasons, the banners are a set size.
Yes.
I thought the ones we used last year worked absolutely perfectly for the people we depicted on the Market Square.
Yeah.
So you'd have to, the same size, you say, same size banner, but you'd have to share them. So how well that would work, I don't know.
Double-sided?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Double-sided.
Maybe double-sided.
Yeah, whichever.
Or even worst case, two per side. There's
no wrong answer. I think it's just the aesthetics of how it would look, given the limitation of the size of the banner.
Okay. All right. So we'll arrange. Sorry, Brian.
I'll whisper the name Bruno Peaks, but I think some of the things he's been suggesting is things like bell ringing. Should we have the bells ringing on the 8th of May? I mean, I think that would be quite nice. That's
up to Brian Mills, of course, and Max.
Well, I think that ties in what I wanted to say, which was if you want the choir to sing, or if we want the choir to sing something like the Hallelujah Chorus, it's going to be much easier to do that in church. You really need the organ to accompany it. So I think this is sounding like a service in church, and then the bells can ring before the service, and I think they'd be very happy to do that. So is that something that people would like me to organise? Because if I'm asking the choir to sing the Alleluia chorus specially, it would be nice to sort of encourage people to come along and listen to that.
I have no problem. Councillor Brown first.
Yeah. So are we going to have two services, and one on VE Day and one on VJ Day? Because
we need to talk about VJ Day because I believe it clashes with Haverhill in the Park.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, we need to mark these significant events in some. Because like you say, there won't be a lot of people who turn up, but those that do will be absolutely passionate about it. And if we don't do something,
no, I'm not saying don't do anything, but we just have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Colin,
I think the idea of a service is great. I think in terms of, as it's a Thursday, whether or not we need to think about the timing of that church service. To make sure that people who would wish to come along would be able to come along. Obviously, daytime might look fine for doing any flags or anything on the Market Square, but possibly later afternoon, evening might work better for getting people to be able to actually attend the event. I know we have had occasions before. Suffolk Day last year was great, but a lot of people complained the 21st wasn't a Saturday, which wasn't really our fault, but it is one of the things that, you know, people said they would have been there if they could have been, but they were at work.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the and I thought it was in the evening. The actual military action ceased. It wasn't actually the end of the war, of course, in Europe at 2200 GMT. So it did finish that evening on the 8th of May. I'm not suggesting doing anything at 2200 at night, but I'm just saying rather than doing it at 11 o'clock in the morning, maybe there should be something, maybe early evening. And I'm just looking when sunset is on the 8th of May is at 8:30. So, you know, we could do something. That might be quite nice. Where's Max gone? Lost you. Yeah, sorry, there you are. What do you think, Max? Something in the evening?
I think evening is probably best to encourage people along.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I'd probably, especially if we're getting the choir involved and things, I'd focus on VE Day for that. And then if you wanted something on VJ Day as well, I could probably do something smaller, but focus on VE Day for the choir and this special music and the bell ringing and things.
That's Brown, Tony.
Yeah, for VE Day, could we make sure we really publish it and hopefully get some of our Eastern European residents down? Yeah, because obviously Poles took a major part in the battle for Europe, and it'd be really nice to try and get some of them folk along as well. I think they'd appreciate it, especially most of them are at work during the day. If we could do something early evening, something like that would be good. But yeah.
Have you noted that, Joe? Yeah, thank you. All right. Anybody else got anything on VE Day? No. Okay, so we'll sort out a meeting, Brian, Charmaine, etc.
Sorry, Chair. Just
sorry,
as Bruno Pete was mentioned, I believe I read an article today. I believe that the VE 80 is his swan song as a Suffolk man, of course. That this is his final event that he's organising.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Stepping down at age of 74.
Right. Okay. We'll come back to VJ Day. Mayor making Monday the 12th of May. I don't think there's anything much to talk about that, is there? Just happens. Whoever the mayor's going to be, presumably it will be Quinn. Who knows? But we won't know that until whether everyone votes on it. Anything, Colin, Vicky, from your side?
Not particularly, other than if, as far as Mayor Smith is concerned, obviously, again, it's his choice of the kind of halftime entertainment, for want of a better expression, between the annual town meeting and the annual meeting of the council.
I was worried you were going to say that. I'm running out of favours to call in. I'll sort something out.
Okay. I'll leave that in your court, David.
Yeah, I'll get my little black book out.
Yeah. Okay. Right, going on then on to Armed Forces Day, Saturday the 28th of June, with flag raising on Monday, whatever the Monday is. I don't know what date it is. So that needs to go in the diary as well. Monday the 23rd. If you wouldn't mind putting that on the online as well, Joe, for us. Well, the flag raising itself is pretty standard. Presumably what we did last year. If everyone's happy with that. So we come on to Armed Forces Day. Are we going to do the same thing again, Tony, with the vehicles?
Yeah, I mean, if everyone's happy with that, all the participants are more than happy. Every year we get a few more people turn up. We get some really good feedback from all the participants. They enjoy it. They enjoy interacting with the residents on the market square. It's a great day. So yeah, I think the route's absolutely fine. We've sort of cracked that now. It all makes sense. Could we have the mugs again? Because I know everyone appreciates the mugs.
Yeah, I don't really want to change the design at all. That's up to you.
Well, I was going to say that.
Colour, but yeah.
Yeah, could we have something that commemorates VE Day and VJ Day on there? Something on there. If that'd be good.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
An amalgam of something.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of the other things, sorry, was around the charity. Can we do all we can to I don't know what the charity is going to be. It was taxis last year, I think, wasn't it, Charmaine? Yeah. I don't know if we've got any ideas. What charity we could contact this year if we go for the taxis again, or another charity like Blessman like we had before.
I'll just say there's Air Force.
Yeah, something like that.
The one down in Brighton, the blind veterans thing.
Yeah, one of the smaller charities that don't get so much publicity. Always get a little bit worried about those folk.
Yeah, we need to push the charity side of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the main thing is if it's a charity that can actually turn up on the day and they've got a gazebo and they can bring a load of buckets, because there's a lot of people there that are more than happy to have a bucket there or walk around with a bucket to collect for them. But we actually need the buckets and some attendance from whoever the charity is, because I'm sure we could raise quite a lot of money on the day.
Well, we're not the lead town this year, so we won't have the Army Air Corps because they go with the primary town, whichever town that is this year. I'm not saying where it is. Did we or should we invite Royal Anglians?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of course, really. It's a matter of if they can turn up or not. But
no, that's fine. I don't know where they're at the moment, but yeah, the various battalions.
Yeah,
maybe we can do that officially through the town council.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was going to mention about Remembrance Day as well. I think we ought to invite them for Remembrance Day, if we can. Even if it's only a couple of people, better than nothing. Any other things people want to change on Armed Forces Day at all? If anything, I thought it just went okay.
Yeah. But I say it'd be worthwhile, obviously, contacting. I think it's just changing. Actually, there's an Armed Forces Commissioner. It's a voluntary position at Suffolk County Council, and it's just changed. So it'd be good if we can contact whoever that is. It should be on their website, etc., and let them know. And they can put a general invitation to units, etc.
It was. The gentleman who came last year, he's going, isn't he?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but off the top of my head, Lee. Lee Holloway's going.
Yeah.
And they're looking for a new candidate now.
Yeah, I did see something the other day. I think they've got one now.
Well, I saw something on Facebook, but I thought they'd actually hadn't got one yet. In fact, their website says they're still looking for somebody.
No.
Okay. No job for you, Tony.
Yeah. No, I did see, I don't know if it's on Twitter or something, Lee Holloway shaking someone's hand at the hand.
Oh, yeah, but that was his predecessor.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Right. No, it's with his predecessor, John Ogden.
Right.
Colonel John Ogden, in fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, anything else on Armed Forces Day? Again, I guess you're going to organise the vehicles, Tony, as usual.
Yeah, I'll organise that. Brian and Charmaine, are you happy with everything that you normally do, or hopefully?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought last year went very well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Right, should we move on to Suffolk Day then? Saturday, 21st of June. Again, we're not the lead town. So I don't know how much we want to do for that day. Any thoughts, anybody? Do you want to do anything? Other than maybe just raise the flag?
Chair, we can just make sure the flags are up for it. The Lowestoft is the lead town for
Oh,
Suffolk.
Lowestoft did. Okay.
So that the focus is well away from Haverhill.
Yeah. Okay, so we just plan for that then. Just raise the flag. It doesn't even have to be a formal ceremony as such, does it? It's just that you've got to be there about 4 o'clock in the morning, Colin, to raise the flag.
Well, as long as nobody's there, you'll just see the flag is there in the
Yeah,
morning.
it's all right. If all else fails, I can raise it. If it's desperate to be raised at that time in the morning, it's not a problem. Okay. Oh, well, that was the easy one. Right, and then we move on to VJ80, which is obviously the more important one because all the people came back eventually from the far, well, some of them came back from the Far East, some didn't come back, of course. But it does clash with Haverhill in the Park, I believe, if I remember rightly, on dates.
Or Chair, I think coincides.
Or coincides, yeah. Can we do
make
both?
Well, we can, but I think we have to be realistic that the majority of the staffing and resources are going to be already kind of engaged. But it depends on the tone you want to set. Obviously, in terms of reflecting the experiences of the people who were actually involved in the war in the Far East from Haverhill. And I don't really know much about that. I don't know whether Brian and Charmian can give us some idea of what they think might be appropriate. I just don't think it's likely to be a kind of faux Glenn Miller band.
You're muted.
Yeah, I think you're right, Colin. It has to be a little bit more muted, doesn't it? And respectful, because those men suffered dreadfully.
Yes,
whether they came back or not, it was just a terrible time. When is the Haverhill in the Park? Is it going to be on the Friday and Saturday?
Yes.
So not on the Sunday. I don't know what date the Sunday must be, about the
17th.
Because we did a cemetery walk, which was quite well attended, actually. We've done it twice now. We did it during lockdown. It was separated, wasn't it, John? Because you came along and videoed it. But,
yeah.
But we'd be quite happy as a family history group to run that again, and we could do it on the Sunday so that it didn't coincide with the event in the park. And we could do something in the morning and something in the afternoon. I think when we did the last one, we restricted numbers to 30, didn't we? So if we fully booked an afternoon one, we could run a second one in the morning, perhaps. Alternatively, we could do something similar, not in the cemetery, but perhaps in the arts centre. Use PowerPoint, a presentation more.
Well, again, we could put something online, if we film something. I mean, I don't know whether something maybe you'd like to, not necessarily on that Sunday, but maybe even the Sunday before, or a day before, anyway, Sunday presumably, is we could film something a bit better than we did last time during lockdown, because the one in lockdown was okay, but the audio was rubbish. And whether we could do something a little bit better, put that on social media as well, so people do understand what it was all about, because a lot of people will just not know about VJ Day. I don't think they teach it in schools, do they?
No, it's not a part of the curriculum, I don't think, per se. But this year it might well be, because there's going to be quite a heavy focus on it, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, Tony, come Brown.
Yeah. I definitely think we should be doing something on the day. I know it's going to clash with Haverhill in the Park, but I say it was such a significant event for the old Haverhill residents. I mean, even myself growing up, I knew a lot of those old chaps, and it did affect a lot of them, a lot of their families. So, and it's still a lot of remembrance in the town when you speak to people about it. So I definitely it's, again, there won't be a lot of people turn up, but I think we should do something. I don't know, with the church, etc. I don't know. I don't know exactly what sort of event, but I think we should definitely have something. I'm sure Pete Bryan isn't here, but I'm sure there'll be something that the Legion wish to do up at the cemetery, etc. But obviously we have to talk to him about that. But I say it needs to be properly marked in some way.
Again, I'm very happy to do a service, and as we said, I think the big choir, big sort of Thanksgiving, that's VE Day. This would have a slightly different tone. So yeah, but we could do another service, perhaps in the evening again.
Yeah, was calling off and Gavin. Are we going to be able to, if we do something a bit more formal, are we going to be able to manage it?
Yes, because I think formality really means that there's far less requirement for stewarding or something like that. So yes, well, I think we can easily cover that as well. And I think, just reflecting what everyone else has said, we actually must do something on the day.
Yeah.
Then do something on the Sunday as well. Then that would work absolutely fine.
Councillor Smith, David.
Yeah, similar to those. I was thinking if the Haverhill in the Park is starts in the evening. I know there's a lot of preparation to do beforehand, but I would have thought that the VJ event would be more of a daytime thing, a more restrained thing, as you said earlier. So I don't really think that there will be too much of a conflict there.
No, that's right. I'm just looking at the RBL website, but I don't think they've actually got anything that's. I mean, they're just giving the history of VJ Day. I don't know like they've actually got anything there. I agree. Yeah, it doesn't start till the evenings. I have 6 o'clock. Well, assuming I don't know if we've actually agreed to do. Have we agreed to do HIPP yet?
No, we haven't. Although
No.
if
I assume it is.
the council does, then that is the weekend it's likely to be, to avoid conflicts with other events that are happening in town.
Yeah.
But I think it is the point that actually VE Day is much better known, and for given Haverhill people's involvement in the Far East, that's all the more reason why we should make sure that we do allow sufficient capacity to rightfully mark the moment. So yeah, we will make sure there's staff available. As the mayor said, we're not actually starting Haverhill in the Park until very late afternoon, so there's plenty of time for us to organise something beforehand. Yeah,
I think what I said earlier on about VE Day, some sort of video. I wonder whether BJ we could make something that's like not a newsreel, but all those 69 people that Shamid mentioned earlier on, whether we could do some sort of like I'm not going to call it a PowerPoint presentation, but a show reel, if you like, that we could put on the website so people know about it beforehand as well. Even if the thing itself is not very big, the actual event we do, it'd be nice to have something, that if people say, well, you didn't do anything for VJ Day, say, well, actually, this is what we did. Sorry, Sharon.
We did do something before, John, with they were family members whose
yes, we did.
They were parents.
No, I still got that because
they did a sort of roll call.
Yes,
and they named all 69 people and then said did not return if the person had died.
Yeah.
I think we had 7 or 8 people reading those out. They did 12 names.
Right, Christopher Gertine was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we need to just publish that. Maybe just because that was it. Video I edited.
Yeah.
I could just take off the VE75 and put VJ 75 and put VJ 80 on it.
Do have Christopher Gertine reading some of those names.
I do. We might have.
But I don't know that we could probably ask
Well,
the family if they'd be happy for him to
Yeah.
do that, or to just use that film.
or we could do it again.
We'll
Or
do
we
it.
could do it again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it was during lockdown, so the circumstances were not. It was all.
They weren't ideal. People
They
did
weren't
them
ideal.
themselves in their home.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, so maybe we could do something like that. I mean, that'd be quite nice to have some sort of historical thing as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on VJ Day? No. Okay. Right, then we're moving on, and I don't know how much we want to speak about this. We've really spoken about it. Remembrance Sunday, we've already spoken about last year's, and it's just a repeat with minor changes for this year. If everyone's happy to accept that, and the same for the Civic Carol service. But the only one on the Civic Carol service I would argue, or ask rather, is which day are we going to go for? 3rd or the 10th? I see the agenda's got 2 possible dates. Max, thoughts?
I don't think it makes much difference to us. And my question is, do you know when you're doing the Christmas light switch on and things like that?
That'd be the Friday before, will it come in? No, it won't, because yeah, Friday before?
No, it'd be a Saturday.
Oh, Saturday rather, sorry, I don't mean Friday, I'm thinking of Halloween, sorry.
So is that the 29th of November or the 6th of December?
It'll be the 29th of November. With the businesses rightly pointed out that the Christmas lights cost exactly the same, but we get a week extra out of them if you have them up everything on the 29th.
In that case, I don't think it matters. It's quite nice to sort of do it in the week following, so we could do it in the 3rd.
Yeah, you did it on the 6th, this just gone. Vaguely remember 6th, I don't know why.
Fourth.
Oh, 4th was it? Sorry, I'm looking.
Yeah, it was slightly earlier this year than it has been in the past. We normally go around where the 10th would be this year, but it really doesn't matter.
No. Well, should we make a decision to go for the 3rd then? Anybody?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. 3rd it is. Can you put that in the thing as well, Joe? Of course. Thank you. Right. Anybody else got anything else they want to discuss for this meeting? So there's a lot of after the meeting events we got to get together and talk about and everything. Some of us. Sorry, Colin.
I didn't know whether you wanted to talk about the unveiling of the shield at the end of this month.
Okay, go on.
The Haverhill, Massachusetts shield that's going up in the cafe.
Oh yes, sorry, that shield. Sorry, I'm trying. Sorry, Colin, it was discussed last year. That was last year, Yeah, sorry.
Just to check it's all systems go and everyone's happy that there's everything that needs to be done has been done.
Yeah, 30th. That's right. 1900.
30th of Jan, isn't it?
Yeah, 1900. Yeah, 7 o'clock.
I think it's all in hand, isn't it?
It's all in hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Colin, is Kevin going to be in there tomorrow, the handyman? Because I've got 2 photographs that can go under the shield.
He's going to be in and out. Gary will be able to update you.
Okay.
Whether he's
perhaps are you in tomorrow, Gary? Perhaps I can pop in and see.
Yeah, I am. He will be in and out. He's got a few errands to run out of the town, so
yeah,
I'm not convinced there might be time tomorrow. But if you see me tomorrow,
as long as it's up before the 30th.
So see me and we'll sort it.
Yeah. Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay, if everyone's happy, can we call the meeting to a close with the date of the next meeting? Agenda item 8, Monday the 17th of March. Hopefully, we'll have some updates on other things. And if we if we get together with various people and come up with ideas, then we'll distribute them around.
Joe,
Right,
Joe, will you be in on Wednesday?
Yep, I'll be there.
Can we perhaps fix a date or a couple of dates and then see if John's available so that we can have a look at what we've got for DE and VJ? That's all right.
I'm I'm mostly around, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So Thursday afternoon for a couple of hours I'm out, but that's basically it for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot these days.
No, I won't swear because we're still live. Right, so I'll close the meeting at